Hey, it's Sam again. Today we're shooting Everyday Electricians Tools Part 3. And we're going to go over just the different tools that we use every day. So here I have a LED work light, which are fairly new. You can find these at Home Depot now. They're going for about $35, which is pretty fairly priced. And they're somewhat new to the market. I think they've been out for maybe 4 or 5 months from today, and they're really cool. The old work lights would use halogen light bulbs, and they would get hot and they would burn out, and it was always a problem with these new LED lights. They don't get hot at all, and they last forever. So really cool to have, especially if you're doing a commercial project and you're working in the dark. LED work light, $35 at Home Depot. Here's a 100-foot extension cord, which goes good if you're getting on top of a rooftop, you need power up there, or just anywhere you need a long cord. 100-foot cord is always good to have on the truck. Here I have a pair of 460 channel locks, which come in handy for working with bigger EMT conduit, 2-inch conduit. If you're or rigid, if you're having to screw the conduit into the fittings, 460 channel locks come in handy. Good tool to have. Here I have a set of wrenches, which you don't need too often, but they do come in handy. This is a new thing that's out. I found this at Lowe's, and what it is it's a wristband. You wrap it around your wrist, and it's got magnets on it that you can put different types of screws or whatever you're working with at the time. You can put it on your wrist, and that way when you need it, it's right there. It works really well when you're roughing in metal walls in a commercial building. Good to have. Here I have some chalk line, which really works well when you're doing, there's a lot of ways you can use this, but for things like recessed cans, or if you're working up on a ceiling, it's really nice to be able to pop the line, have a straight line that you can just go off instead of having to measure each can or plug or whatever it is you're dealing with. So the chalk line, definitely good to have. Here I have a fish tape. Which I'm assuming most people know what that's for pushing wires through conduits. And I'm going to do a video in the future about how to tie wires to the fish tape head and how that works. Fish tape. Here's a hacksaw. Important to have. It's actually quicker to cut 1/2-inch EMT with a hacksaw than it is with a sawzall, and it just comes in handy with certain things if you're trying to cut something carefully or whatever. There's certain times when it's good to have a hacksaw. Good to have. Here's something that I came up with. It's just an original idea. What I did is I took an old tool belt. That was a cheaper tool belt, and I took the belt off and just bolted it together here with some 1/4-inch bolts. So it ended up making this little bag that you can carry around, and it's really good if you're working on a job and you're trying to multitask. Say if you're in an area and you want to complete everything in that area, well, you can just load this thing down with all the material that you might need anchors, screws, straps, fittings, just whatever it is, whatever you're using. You have this bag just loaded down, you can just carry this around with you, and that way you can multitask and get things done without having to run back and forth looking for material. So it's a pretty good idea. It's worked really well in times that I've used it. Cool to have. Here are some mini pouches that I use from time to time if you're doing some light duty type stuff, like running low voltage cables or something like that, where you just don't need your heavy tool belt. It's good to have a mini pouch with you, just to be able to put on. It makes you lighter, so you can move around a little bit quicker. Here's another type of special ops bag, where if you are working with something that you need to, you don't want to load your tool belt down. I mean, like this works really well with these types of caddy bang-on straps, or just anything like that. If you need an extra pouch, it's good to have one of these that you can just throw around your waist and load it down with whatever you might need. Special ops gear. These bins that I have here are really nice to have for, there's a lot of different uses you can use them for. You can use them to hold material to take onto a job site, or if you do like smaller jobs to where you just need random material, you can load these things down with whatever you might need. They work really well if you're getting on top of a roof, a rooftop commercial building or whatever. You can tie a rope to these handles here and lift up to the roof, whatever you need. Really cool. These things are 20 bucks at Home Depot, and I've had these for quite a while now, these three, and they're worth every penny for sure. Good things to have. So I have my extra drills here. This is my extra rigid drill, extra impact for whatever. And here's a homemade splitter that I made that I use from time to time. It's real good whenever you're like, just whenever you need it, it comes in handy. It's not UL listed or probably not OSHA approved, so you gotta kind of, I wouldn't put it out on like a commercial site with a lot of guys on it, or with people that I'm not working with, but in certain situations it's definitely handy. Good to have. Here I have some conduit benders. It's a 1-inch EMC bender. One-inch bender and a 3/4 bender. I have a 1/2-inch bender somewhere, but I'm going to do a video in the future on how to bend conduit like a pro. Show you all that stuff. And that's it. Electricians Tools Part 3, over and out. Thanks for watching.